Hello there, everyone. I'm David, and this is the Late Night with David Jones. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about episodes 2 of Supergirl, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Arrow. And we're going to start off with the way they are premiered throughout the week. So Supergirl is going to be first up. And the synopsis for Supergirl is Kara faces a villain who preys on people's fears. Lena and James butt heads at Catco, and Rain takes on a larger role. And I do have a special guest here, Carl Wise.
How y'all doing today?
And we're going to just kind of talk about what we liked and what we didn't like of each episode and give a rating of each episode from 1 to 5. So Carl, for episode 2, what did you think of what are the pros you have for the episode?
Well, for the pros for me, for Supergirl, they are actually, in the first episode, it just basically tells Kara, like, oh, I had no feelings that Monel was gone. I didn't care. I had to do it, and I would do it again. Did not bother me one bit. But in this episode, you see Kara's fears. You see her reliving the worst time she's had was when Krypton blew up, when she was in the pod.
Which makes sense.
So you see her fears. She has a slight fear of claustrophobia, so she doesn't really like to be in the closed spaces.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that?
I just assumed that she was more of like she was scared of saying goodbye to people, because both times she's had to say goodbye to people,
I mean, yes, that's also a part of it. But as you see in the scene, when she was in the elevator, she felt the room closing in on her. And there was nothing she could do while she was trapped in the elevator. It's pretty much the same feeling as her in the pod. She was trapped in the pod. Everything around her was, blowing up, and she couldn't really do anything. She was stuck there.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
And that's why she exploded out of the elevator.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't know why I didn't catch that in the episode.
So Kara has a slight fear of claustrophobia. Maybe that might tie into some things later on in the season. They might come back and, hinder her in some performances and things like that. But again, she does have trouble saying goodbye to people with the ones she loves and cares about the most.
Yeah, because she said that with her mom and dad, Monel. Yeah, I think those are the only 3 she's really see.
You might just have a fear of pods.
For me, one of the pauses I have for this episode is when. And I'm going to say this straight up right now. And I'm sorry I didn't mention this earlier. This will contain spoilers for the episode. I didn't like this episode. I thought it fell flat on 90% of its attempts. But one of the characters that didn't fall short was Win. And his one-liners with Alex and her girlfriend, fiance, which I can't think of the name for right now, and Martian Manhunter. Can we stop benching Martian Manhunter? He is as strong as Superman, and he's able to read minds, and he's a perfect field agent to help Kara out, yet he's in DEO all the time. So, why?
I see what you're saying. You want to have Martian Manhunter out in the field more as Martian Manhunter. You really don't see him often doing anything.
And I understand CGI and everything, and the budget for that and everything, but still, you have this awesome hero character in which he's just as strong as Superman. He's able to block himself from mental attacks. He's not he's not weak against psychic or magic like Superman is. He's weak against fire. But there's so much. He would be so much more help to Kara in the field than her sister Alex, or for some God knows reason, James's guardian. So yeah, it's like I wish they would stop benching Martian Manhunter, and that's more of the end of this episode than it is throughout the episode. And Alex was pretty good for most of the episode. Some of the stuff she's talking to her fiance in the field about, I'm like, shouldn't be doing that in the field. That is a in the house, relaxing, like watching some TV shows. Like, hey, do you want a DJ or do you want a band? And then you can have that regular, but not in the field. But back to positives if you have more, because I don't want to go on a rant of Supergirl.
That's basically it. I mean, again, you kind of show Kara's been going on this deal. Like, I'm not human. I have no anything you humans have. I don't. So it basically shows her that, you know what, you are more human than you think.
That annoyed me.
You are scared. We get scared. Everybody gets scared. That's a natural feeling for any living creature. So basically, it just kind of, I'm hoping she just gets knocked down the peg even more.
Yeah.
It basically shows that you are not all that you think you are. I know you're powerful. I know you're strong, but, you know, you are a person who deals with emotional issues and stuff like that.
Yeah. This episode was boring to me for that reason alone. The fact that we had Kara, like, one episode, she's like, I don't need anyone, or last season, she's like, I don't need anyone to, depend on. I'm my own woman. And then this season, she's done nothing but kind of, I understand she lost Monel, someone she loves, but she's just relying on that person that she lost, and it's really not in the character type for Sakara, in my opinion. What did you think of the whole Catco situation going on?
Well, in this episode, I didn't see much of, James and Lena butting heads, but to like the very end of it, when she's, she's on a first name basis with all the assistants and every employee, she'll literally call them, hey, how are you doing, Eve? Oh, thank you, Eve, or
Schumacher.
Kara.
Or Schumacher. Or Schumacher, that's what it is.
Eve, yeah. She's on a first name basis with them. When she sees James, she's like, Mr. Olsen. Mr. Olsen, and James referred to her as Miss Luther.
Yeah.
You can see there's tension in the air between those two. So
there's definitely tension, and I kind of hope that is resolved soon, because I don't want that being played out the entire season.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to bring up is, what did you think of the villain? Sai.
I mean, her ability is cool, but I don't see her really playing that much of a bigger issue. I mean,
you think she's a one episode villain and done?
Yeah. I mean, again, people can conquer their fears. People can get over that. That's basically what she was. All she did was, you're afraid of this, I'm going to use that to steal money. She didn't do anything. She didn't have any ulterior motives or any kind of bigger plans. She just, I'm going to rob this place. I'm going to rob that place.
But another thing about Sai that I kind of made the connection to just now, she's kind of like Pennywise from It. She feeds on fear, or she uses fear as an attack. So it's like, did they release this episode, or did they make this episode early on just to kind of hit with the whole Halloween, Pennywise, It kind of thing? I made this vow that if this season doesn't get better, I'm quit watching it, no matter how good the character development or how good the acting is or the actors are. If I can't get this storyline good, I'm done with Supergirl. even if they bring back Mon-El, and he's an amazing character. Any other last remarks?
No, that's about it for Supergirl.
All right, we're going to move on to The Flash Season 4, Episode 2, which is titled Luck Be a Lady, which the synopsis for this is Barry and the team are hit by a string of bad luck and that's not Episode 2. I apologize. I am reading the wrong synopsis.
I would say that sounds like something I haven't seen.
So I'm gonna say there's a new meta in town that's attacking rich people, and he's able to talk through. He's able to communicate with technology and manipulate it to do his will, pretty much. And his name is
Kilgore.
Kilgore, thank you.
His villain name would be Kilgore.
Yeah.
He's basically a hacker that doesn't need to plug into any kind of computer or any kind of software. Just him being near any technology, he can hack.
Yeah.
I think it's a very amazing ability.
Especially with this
in this time
day and age, being able to... you got it, Carl.
Being able to hack a computer and, give it to do it your will without actually having to plug in and, type whatever hackers have to type in the code or, try to break an encryption or break through firewalls.
Yeah.
He can just do that just by being there. He uploads what did they call it? A virus?
It's a
biomechanical virus, basically.
Yeah, pretty much a living virus.
Yeah, into a computer, and it does what he needs it to do.
What did you? Okay, let's start off, since we're talking about the villain already. What did you think of the villain and how he was portrayed?
Villain itself, I think they could have gotten a better, visual aspect or a better person, because at the end of the episode, it looks like he's going to play a bigger role in the future.
Oh, yeah.
But
we'll get to that a little bit later.
I mean, for what he did, I guess it makes sense. He wanted to do what he felt like he got wronged in by his previous
coworkers. Yeah.
They basically sold his idea to make billions.
And pretty much left him out of it.
Yeah. So I can understand him wanting revenge, but...
The opening scene with him, although the CGI was bad, it's probably one of the most gruesome deaths we've got on The Flash.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was kind of like... I didn't see that coming, to be honest with you. I just assumed that he was going to make the elevator drop from penthouse suite to floor 1.
Yeah, but he
ragdolled that.
Yeah.
He just completely made that guy a ragdoll. And I do love the next scene we got where Barry Allen, Joe, and Captain Singh are looking at the evidence and everything.
And Cisco comes
and we
up.
get but we get Barry Allen actually doing CSI work, which I've been wanting since season 1.
To actually, he's just not the Flash. He actually can be a crime scene investigator.
We see him use his brains other than just his speed. But then Cisco comes in and was like, tech advisor, and he's flashing his badge, walking up all high and mighty, and he's and then Captain is like, he does know that's a paper badge, right? Or plastic badge, right? I thought it was kind of funny. I know it was very corny and it might fall short for some people.
That's just how Cisco is.
I really enjoyed it. And then we kind of get more of the team aspect of with Barry being back this episode. How do you think it was with the whole suit reveal, team dynamics, and how that's working against them right now?
How long has Barry been gone in the Speed Force? 6 months, was it?
I think it was 5 months.
It was
Real lifetime.
Yeah, 5 6 months. And Cisco made a suit for somebody who was not there this entire time. When he has Wally West and
Himself.
he could have easily been working on some improvements for their suits to help them fight, while Barry wasn't back or doesn't even know when they would be back.
Yeah.
I know Cisco said, I've been working on a plan to get them back, but still, you have to work for the people you have with you, help them out.
But I said that should have been something like you work on like every once in a while when you have free time, not like all the time.
Focus.
Because you really should have upgraded Wally's suit. Because you do see that scene where like they're talking about the new suit, and you see Wally in the background, and it's just like he's just kind of like all nonchalant, like not caring. It's like give Wally a suit. And I'm not gonna complain about Vibe's suit because I think his suit is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't tinker with that. What do you think of the dynamics? Iris leading the team, Barry kind of taking over as leader.
Again, I believe during the situation, Iris would be the best choice as a leader. But
I don't know about best choice, but only choice.
The best / only choice, because Wally's too inexperienced and Cisco is Cisco. I don't see them leading a.
It's why you bring back Carrie from Earth 2.
Yeah, I just don't see them leading a mission and being a very successful. Those two, or Cisco definitely is better with paired with Caitlin. When it comes to solutions. By himself, he doesn't really.
He comes up with solutions if it's like mechanical.
Yeah.
Like, but the biochemistry and all that stuff. It's Caitlin.
And with her being MIA for all that time too, kind of hard. So Iris was probably the only choice they could have gone with.
Well, because at the end of last season, Harry said he was sticking around.
He did mention that.
So I don't know where Harry went, and I would like an explanation of why he's not here at some point soon, preferably next episode. What did you think of the couples counseling?
I guess, it kind of. I think it was needed for those two.
Because the scene itself would be hit or miss with people.
Yeah.
I can really see it being hit or miss where it's like, oh, I didn't think that was needed, or I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah. I
enjoyed the fact they actually went back and made fun of themselves as a show of how many people they killed off. Where it was like, my mom, my dad died too.
Our other friend HR,
Eddie,
her last fiance.
That's a note writing.
Yeah, she's like,
Ronnie.
We have a lot of loss in this.
So I really loved how they went back and like hit on that. I do think with them bringing that stuff up, it was making fun of themselves, but I think it could also mean we might get some kind of return of those characters, i.e. being a doppelganger or Speed Force manifestation. I hope it's not that one. Or some kind of flashback in which a scene we didn't get from earlier season with the characters, most likely season 1.
Right.
For the most part, I mean, this episode was all right. It wasn't great, and I'm gonna end this segment by talking about the ending scene with the Thinker. What did you think of that? With them showing the computer screens.
Okay, yes, it's giving me. I'm interested to see. For the reasons, because the Thinker is the one who brought back Barry. He is the one who gave Cisco a reason to actually forcibly bring back Barry, and help him become back to Flash. And now that they have Kilgore located, I don't believe they are immediately going to rescue him or do something with him. They just needed to know he was safe.
Yeah.
That is the exact words. Like, he is safe in a secure place. We have eyes. We have visual on him. That's all we need for right now. So I'm curious to see the remaining 11 people.
Yeah.
They are looking for what powers they have, what abilities, because Kilgore did not get his abilities from the
Particle
Accelerator. They mentioned that, and he's mentioned that. I'm glad they brought that up. So
this is not the first time they've mentioned people getting powers outside of the particle accelerator.
Yes, but it's the first time they have acknowledged it, like in a serious fact. They actually went to go talk to Kilgore.
Okay,
like,
yeah, because
where did you get your powers if you weren't here in Central City?
So what is do you have a theory of where?
Central Star. I definitely said Star City.
Do you have a theory of maybe where he got his powers from?
The best thing I could think of is experiments. That's the best.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the best thing I can think of is experimentations done on different subjects at different points where they have.
Because I do know it's been announced that Elastic Man will be on, or Elastic Man is the Elongated Man will be on the show. I think episode 4. I think he's one of the
people who's been
12.
Right.
But the only thing about that is it's either the Elongated Man or Plastic Man. It's one of those two. I get them mixed up all the time. But we did get a name drop for one of them back in season 1 in the Power Outage episode.
Right.
Where Harrison Wells, Eobard Thawne gives off a list of names of people. Some of those people were people from the comics with powers, and one of them was Plastic Man / Elongated Man, whichever one it was. So I am curious about that. I'm curious to see if the Thinker is actually as bad as he's being made out to be. So that's my only curiosity and predictions for the next season. You want to move on to the Legends?
Okay, we can go ahead and move on there.
Alright, so we have Legends Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 2, Freak Show. The Legends find themselves in 1870 to fix the anachronism, which happens to be at P.T. Barnum's fledgling circus. However, Nate and Ray accidentally free a saber-toothed tiger, creating a bigger problem. Meanwhile, P.T. Barnum, which is the guest star of Billy Zane, is on the hunt to capture Nate and Ray to make his show even more exciting for the crowd. Let's get right into it. What did you think of the episode?
Okay, now that you say the name, I guess I didn't actually make that connection. That was P.T. Barnum's circus. Well, I don't know why I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting. But that episode is the whole situation of them messing up even more.
It's a typical
it is
Legends.
Typical Legends. All they basically had to do was get the tiger back. Even after it got loose, that was perfectly fine because they reintroduced Mara back into the show. We'll talk about her in a minute. It was the problem with Nate just randomly stealing up that caused this activism to go from a level.
It went from like level 1 to level 4
8.
to level 8.
It was because of that they had to go through this all convoluted situation. That was my biggest problem. Like everything, you could have got drunk. That was perfectly fine. You could have got into a fist fight with that guy. That would have been even a lot better because you had Jax.
Yeah.
Jax with you. I'm sorry, Ray, but you're not much use in a fight.
But I think
without his suit.
Jax is probably the only one who him, Rory, and Sarah, and Myra.
Myra, yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I can think of her name. Those are probably the only people who I would choose to be in a bar fight on my team.
Yeah, Nate and
without
Ray,
powers, at least, like, without using their powers.
Yeah, Nate and Ray, those two are actually, I would say, used. I mean, Nate's a pretty big guy. He might be able to get in a good punch or two, but
once he might get that one punch in, and then that moment, then he's just out.
Yeah. So I would have preferred seeing a bar fight, but it was him stealing up, which just caused a whole unnecessary mess.
My thing about this episode, I didn't enjoy about Nate was the fact we had that whole performing issue, which I don't know what they were trying to do with that whole. I was like, this never happens. Like, it's like, was that really needed?
They trying to make a joke. You know,
and it just fell flat.
Yeah, him trying to steal. I was like, oh, it's never happened before, you know.
Oh, I do like how they kind of talked about how his power is like he has to be hydrated to be able to steal up, which makes sense. Yeah. I'm happy they finally introduced that. It was nice to see Billy Zane and Victor Garber back on screen together because this is the first time they've been on screen together since they were on Titanic.
Wow.
Which we did get that line in the first episode, I believe. Maybe might have been this episode.
Oh yeah.
In which Victor, he was like, "Who the hell will go on to?"
I refuse to go back onto the Titanic.
Whoever created it should be shot. Which in Titanic, he was the founder of the Titanic.
That's funny.
So seeing these two together was nice. The circus was cool. Seeing the saber-tooth tiger CGI was it's not the best work. But the fact that if Nate didn't get off the time ship this episode, nothing bad would have happened. Because he would have steeled up.
Even this episode, I don't even see Rory messing anything up because he doesn't like clowns. He would have stayed on the ship.
And if it wasn't for Nate, I mean, Nate's the reason why he's saying, oh yeah, Jax is half Firestorm. This guy is a
shrinking man.
So it's like, way to just give out your team's secrets to a random. Sarah didn't. Oh no, we got that cool fight scene with Sarah and the Time Bureau chick.
Yeah, I was watching that, and I admit the Time Bureau was holding her own, but Sarah definitely did have the upper hand. I mean, the Time Bureau only really did more judo work throwing Sarah. And I didn't see there wasn't a lot of punches she actually connected to with Sarah. So
True.
I was paying attention to that one a lot, but I really want to talk about Myra. Why they bringing her back and what her amulet's doing
the whole corrupted amulet, or whatever. Totem, that's what totem.
It's curious to see why she left in the first place, and when she went to go visit Vixen. Yeah,
in Detroit,
which I thought was a very nice touch. They introduced Vixen. Maybe she might play a role in the Legends if they need to. Replace Myra with Vixen.
I don't think they're going to replace her with Vixen. I do think that we know the amulet issue gets fixed. Yeah. Because Vixen's using it perfectly fine.
Well, maybe again it might be corrupted against Myra. It might be different people.
Maybe this is magic being used to make her go against her, kind of let her evil thoughts kind of take priority.
Yeah, her animal instincts are actually taking over.
So that's a little nice. I don't want that to go on all season. That's not a storyline we need to go on all season long. And any final thoughts for any positives, negatives, final thoughts?
Well, again, in this episode, they kind of dropped a couple hints
You're right.
about
I forgot about the ending.
About the villains. When Sarah was talking with the chick in the bureau, she's like, "You said Rip was hoping that we could do something that you guys can't. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
There was that. I'm curious to see what's the bureau
is afraid of.
Chick was talking about, and why Rip believes that only the legends can handle it. And
I do like that one scene where they're like, what could be worse than a immortal like being or
a speedster, and they laughed it off.
So I did enjoy that. It's like that's valid.
They've already seen some stuff. They've already been through some stuff. What could be worse?
So like I'm curious to see what Malice, I think was the name she dropped, is about, and what is going to entail that. I am also kind of more curious to see if the team changes at all with, Vixen or Myra having the amulet totem issues. Victor Garber is announced to be leaving the show. What's happening to Firestorm? That's right there, down 3 people of the team. And because Nate doesn't do anything, I'm going to say 4. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, we just have to wait and see what future holds for us.
Time. Fun. Any final thoughts? Because I'm happy you brought that ending up, because I stopped out, forgot that ending, which I don't know why, because that's actually my favorite ending of the week. We're going to move on to Arrow Season 6, Episode 2. Oliver must deal with the aftermath of a picture of him in the Green Arrow suit being seen by the world. What did you think of this episode?
This one was a little bit interesting. It picked up a little bit more. The biggest thing that's been bothering me was with Diggle and his injury that was from the island.
Yeah.
Now that one is a very key issue, I think, needed to be addressed, that Diggle didn't address.
Yeah.
Because Diggle is a hand-to-hand and weapon expert, so he is very adept to shooting a weapon. He could say somebody's behind you in the shoulder. He could pick somebody's head off and, help you out.
Yeah.
That's just how skilled he is. But the fact that he has nerve damage and it is causing him to fluctuate his aim and can't steadily hold a gun, it's very detrimental to his teammates and to him around them.
It's definitely going to put a hindrance on the team. But can Diggle at least tell the team?
It's not that big of a deal that if he told them. I don't know what's his mindset into believing.
It's like, I'm sure they would understand.
It's like, oh, you have nerve damage. We need to fix this. Let's do everything in our power to
help
you out, man.
You have Felicity and Mr. Terrific. Thank you, Curtis. We have 2 people. Curtis created a chip in which Felicity makes Felicity walk again.
Yes, because Felicity is theoretically paralyzed.
So it's like, they could come up with something. Tell them. That would solve your issue. I thought seeing Anatoly back was awesome.
Right.
Anatoly didn't give a crap what was going on. He was like, "We're done, Oliver. We're not friends. I want $2 million. I want $20 million, or this guy's gonna die." And he's not holding back punches. He almost killed a guy. Yeah, I thought it was great. Seeing Anatoly back as a non-friend. I don't want to say enemy yet, because this could just be a ploy to get Oliver to do better. seeing the fact that Anatoly wasn't the one to leak the picture, I thought was nice. What did you think of Anatoly's return and the reveal that the picture wasn't leaked by him?
Well, I like how Anatoly said he's an honorable man. He's gonna fight Oliver as as a Russian mobster, but very honorably. So he mentioned, I could have blown up. I know where your son goes to school. I know what you do for a living. I know everything about you. I could have easily threatened your son. I could have easily done that, but I didn't. They have nothing to do with what's between me and you.
Yeah.
I can be involved, but I'm an honorable man. So everything, I like his honorability as a person because, oh God, who was the last person? Literally the person that blew up the island. What was his name?
Adrian Chase.
Adrian Chase. He had no honor. He was going to do everything and anything
to get back at Oliver.
To destroy Oliver. No matter who it hurt, no matter who he caused, he shot his own wife.
Did he shoot or stab?
Huh?
Did he shoot or stab her?
One of the two. But
he killed his own wife.
Yeah,
Let's just leave it there.
He killed his own wife to get at Oliver.
Yeah.
So that's just a man with no honor, no integrity, or anything like that. So I'm curious to see what Anatoly is, because throughout the seasons, you see Oliver talking about you and the island, and
yeah,
the Russians are a big part about his past. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna explain fully the entire story between those two.
I mean, I think we've gotten pretty good because they met on the island back in season 2. We got the connections throughout.
We got them, but I'm just wondering to see what's gonna end because of it. What happened? I don't remember the fallout between those two.
Oliver did something last season.
Yeah, that cut ties with them.
Yeah, because it was present day where Oliver did something, and I think Anthony's going to die sometime this season.
I could see it.
And that's what's going to end that storyline in a nice little bow. Do we have to keep coming back to Green Arrow and Oliver Queen and we're going to be investigating you, Oliver? Like, do we have to keep going back to that?
Apparently so. Because now we got the FBI on the case. And
because, oh yeah, Oliver, you're being accused of being Green Arrow.
Technically, if you want to get technical, the first time he was just the Hood.
Yeah, well, he was the Hood, then the Arrow, and now Green Arrow. Are they that dumb to not realize they're the same person?
It's like Superman when he takes off his glasses.
It's like the FBI is talking about how they're going to get to the bottom of this. It's like, are you that dumb to realize 3 of the people he's been there the entire time? I mean, how many hooded vigilante shooting green arrows at people do you have to come across to realize they're all the same?
I'm about to say, even basic intelligence, they say, oh, this guy's the same height, same build, same,
like everything's the same.
Structures, from what we can tell, same structure. Smashes up with Oliver. Same height, same build, same.
I understand not being able to do that, but it's like at least suspect they're the same person.
All right.
Because you can't charge someone without having proof and all that. At least in our justice system. How do you feel the relationship between William and Oliver? Which is, Oliver's father and son. How do you feel about that?
You ever watch Naruto and Boruto?
I've not, actually.
Okay, it's the same thing. For any of you anime friends, it's basically the same thing. I mean, I understand where William's coming from. He grew up without a father. He grew up with his mother. His mother is one who's been taking care of him. His father had no interactions, nothing to do with his life.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, out of nowhere, his mom died. and now this basically stranger is taking care of him, who is now claiming to be his father. For a kid about his age, he could pretty much understand, like, where have you been all my life? Why haven't you been there? Why haven't you done anything for me?
We've also seen him pretty much blame Oliver for his mom dying.
Yeah, he blames Oliver for his mother's dying, so he's a little kid who doesn't know. I mean, he is a little kid, but he can only know what he sees. And what he sees is a father who's, always busy at work because he is the mayor and a vigilante and doesn't really take the time. I mean, though William, it looks like he's willing to open up to Oliver, and willing to try to make a connection.
I think we saw that in the episode that he is opening up.
Yeah, he's opening up, but it's gonna take a lot more on Oliver's part to be there for his son.
Yeah, and we'll get a little bit to that in a few. But I am happy to see Risa, the maid. Yeah, Risa. I'm happy to see her back because we haven't seen her since like episode 1 of season 1, and she just comes out of nowhere back. And I was like, I'm really cool because I love her dynamic with Oliver. And another thing that I enjoy this episode, Mr. Terrific's fighting style. He now has his own fighting style.
He throws the T-spurs at people.
And now he does throw some kicks and everything, but, he's not just, like, getting his ass kicked. He's not getting his butt kicked. Sorry for that, folks. So, the fact that he has his own fighting style, I really enjoyed. And I love the banter between him and Felicity about Curtis's secret identity job. And how it's like, what? Always wonder where Diggle got his money from.
It's like, yeah, he married rich.
Yeah, so it's like, I really enjoyed seeing that dynamic to kind of play on where they get money from. Because that's been a question I had ever since Felicity got fired from her own company.
She probably gets a pension pay from companies, things like that. I think they offered her a pension deal because, like, big companies like that, you can't just flat out fire a
employee.
Not even employee. She was the owner.
True. Yeah.
She was literally the head of that company. You really just can't say, "Hey, you know what?
You're done.
You're fired. You get nothing." They kind of offer them a pension pay and things like that, a settlement. Deal. So she probably's been riding off of that for a while. But again, yeah.
Do you think rent in Star City is cheap with how much stuff's going down there? Because
where Oliver and Felicity lives, that looks pretty pricey because they look like they live in a penthouse.
They don't live together anymore.
I know.
But you talk about the penthouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives them that kind of vibe to it. Like, that one would cost them a couple $1,000 on a rent.
Yeah, which, fun fact, that was also the same apartment we saw in Flash season 4, episode 2, that was being shown to the billionaire dude.
Yeah.
That's the same apartment.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's funny. But again, it does kind of show, like, hey,
same set, sorry. I should say that.
We do have a life after. We do have to make money. They don't really always talk about, the money-making aspect about their jobs.
And, yeah, so I thought that was nice. And kind of jump into the ending of the episode. Unless you have something else you want to talk about. The ending of the episode where Oliver is like, I'm giving up the mantle of the Green Arrow to Diggle. And it's like, Diggle wanted to tell him about the shrapnel, but then it was like, yeah, I'll be the Green Arrow.
Yeah, that couldn't have come at the worst time possible. I really hope Diggle still mentions that I can't shoot straight. I don't know if I can be the Green Arrow, because that is a very pitiful fact about that.
Yeah, and
Green Arrow doesn't miss.
Does Diggle have archery skills?
Yeah.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been the Arrow.
I know he's been the Arrow, but I don't remember him ever shooting arrows. Really?
As a weapon expert marksman, you are very adept to different weapons.
I guess that's true.
It's not that hard to basically bow and arrow. You draw back and you aim down sight. Gun, hold the gun, aim down sight.
I guess that's true. So I'm curious to where that storyline goes. I really hope it goes next episode and that's done.
Yeah, it's just Diggle just wouldn't have the skills Oliver does.
Yeah, and I do want to see more trick arrows this season. We've gotten some pretty cool trick arrows throughout the season. I honestly think Oliver and his son is going to have a better bond, and I'm thinking Roy is going to return before mid-season finale. I'm hoping at least, because he would be a good segue into the Titans TV show that they're having coming out. Are we missing anything?
No, I believe that'd be it.
Very quickly, for each of the 4 shows, give a rating 1 through 5.
Supergirl, I would say 3. Flash, I'll give it a 3 as well. Legends, I'll give it a 4, and Arrow, I'll give it a 4 as well.
For me, Supergirl is getting a 1. This episode was boring. I lost interest in it a quarter of the way through the episode. Flash, I'm giving a 3, mainly because of what they did with the villain, and I actually enjoyed some of the parts the comedic parts they had going on. Legends, I'm giving it a 4. It would have been a lot better if it would have been a perfect score for me if they were able to hit some of the comedic spots, and some of the plot lines they kind of touched on kind of fell flat for me. And then Arrow, I'm giving a 4. And if William's acting, the actor for William, and the writing for William in general was better, it would have bumped it up. So, because the scenes with Oliver and William are really hindering the show. For that's pretty much all we have for the second episodes of the CW superhero shows. Thank you for listening to the Late Night with David Jones. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.